Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rachakudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. All right, I wanted to go into this lesson dealing with the time of losing things. Okay, as you can see, the time of losing things is upon us. Okay, and the inspiration for this lesson was a thought. I was meditating on the end, okay, of this situation or this life that we are in as of now. And the scriptures talk about counting the cost, okay, which means us keeping in mind the things that the possibilities that could happen being in this truth, okay, and the things that we will lose, all right, and we might lose, and the people as well, okay, because as they've started their push for their image, all right, of this beast, for their transhumanist agenda, which is starting with this V that they're giving people. You have a lot of people that know that this thing is not good. They see the proof, they see the evidence, but they don't have the faith of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. They don't have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, and therefore they cannot, hold on the same way that we can, Lord willing. And you'll start to see that ultimately what it comes down to is not about how much you know about this thing or, what information has come out on it or how much you believe that information, but it's ultimately about the spirit of the Lord as to whether you are going to be able to stand firm or not. Because you may have a friend or a buddy and you guys may both see all these things. You send them articles, they send you articles. They're like, yo, this is crazy. You like, yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, these guys are going wild. And, you guys might both say, nah, when this comes, we not taking it, no matter what, da-da-da. But then as the time draws nearer and nearer and nearer, you'll start to see that they're not able to hang on as tightly, to that resolve, to that decision as you may be. And that is because it's not ultimately about how much you know about it. It's about whether you have the spirit of the Lord to resist it or not. Okay, and so we have to prepare that not everybody that we may want, okay, to get it will get it, because it's not up to us. We can't give them faith, and ultimately we can't give them the spirit of the Lord. That is a gift from Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. The Lord has to decide that. So you have to be ready in your mind for that, because a part of the things that you will lose is the comfort, or the people, or the luxury of being able to do certain things. Now, as these mandates get more and more strict, we don't know the full extent of what they're going to come out and say. But you may have somebody that once they hear that you can't travel interstate, and maybe they have a family member or a loved one that's in a different state, then they'll start to back down and start considering taking it. For another person, it may be the grocery stores now say you can't come in. Then that's as far as they can go. And so you got to be prepared for that. And remember, ultimately, that you have to seek out your own salvation. The most important thing, in this race is finishing the race and not letting anything or anyone or any event hinder you from that. Because that's a part of what makes this truth a hard thing, is that you have to be able to make it through no matter what. And on your way, as you're running this race or walking this tightrope, you'll meet certain people, you'll come into certain situations, and you'll have to leave those behind. And remember where you started. Remember the way you ended up in that situation was walking a tightrope. Okay, they're not the goal. As that will join you on your journey, and there's some people that you may meet, but they may only go a certain portion of that way, and they gotta branch off and go their way, and you gotta keep on going, because we're still not at our destination just yet. So with that being said, we're gonna start off with the book of Luke 14 and 28, and it says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it. Now, when you build a tower, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't build a tower in one day. Just like we're not going to get to the kingdom in one day. This is a process, okay? You need to build. It costs money. It costs energy. It costs time. And depending on how invested you are in building the tower, it may cost you friends. Because you need to now prioritize. Are you trying to build the tower, or do you have time to spare to do other things? So now you have to start cutting off certain other things in order to build that tower. When it says sitteth down first and counteth the cost, this is a part of the cost. It's not just how expensive it is, because expense can be counted in currency. It can be counted in time. You know, something that may not be time efficient may be also expensive because it could cost you time. So you have to consider all these things to see, will you be able to do this? Do you have sufficient to finish it? Knowing that on the way, see, last year, before, you know, they brought out this whole V and all of that, we told you, people were worried, what do we do when they come for us in our jobs and all that? And we told you last year, be prepared. Because when this thing does come out, that's exactly what they're going to do. You will lose friends and loved ones and jobs and your home. You may be homeless. You may be in a position where you literally have no options. You're like running into a wall and there's nowhere else to go. And you may be sleeping in your car, you know, or whatever the case may be. These are things that when we tell you what's about to happen, when we tell you what it means to be in this truth, these are things you have to consider when you say that no matter what happens, I'm going to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That no matter what consists of these different things. No matter what, meaning no matter if I'm homeless, I'm still going to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Even if the decision that I'm making to serve him is what's leading to me being homeless. That's what it means, no matter what. No matter whether I lose family members or, you know, I lose certain things that I may have, I'm still going to serve the Lord. That's a part of no matter what. Okay? And you need to sit down and say within yourself, are you cut out for this? Can you do this? No matter if somebody that you may know in the truth stops pushing, are you still going to have sufficient to finish it? These are serious things that you need to consider. Because if you don't make the decision is going to make you. All right? And that's a beautiful precept right there. This is GMS Spiritual Temple 2, Job 13 and 15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him, but I will maintain mine own ways before him. And that is a part of counting the cost. That even if it comes to the point where I have to give up my life to serve the Lord, that's a part of no matter what, I'm going to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, though he slay me. Because no matter how whatever happens to you, the Lord is the author of it. He sanctions it. So even if you happen to die, guess what? The Most High sanctioned it. Now, are you going to lose faith because that happens? No. And Luke 14 and 29 says, lest haply after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. Why? Because you came into this truth and you laid the foundation. You called upon the name of the Lord. You knew that you were an Israelite. You taught in the name of the Lord. You know, you were around men of the Lord, knowing that the company you're around, the scriptures say, can two walk together except they be agreed. Shalom, shalom to you all. Okay. And you knew that the company of people you are around are those that are willing to go all out to the end to serve the Lord. So if you come and you partake of that, all right, and you set your company amongst us, but you're not able to go all the way, as it says, you laid the foundation, you put your hand to the plow to serve the Lord. What does it say in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter? It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation and constantly endure. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Make not haste in the time of trouble. So if you come to serve the Lord, you need to be prepared for whatever the Lord is going to bring your way, because he's not going to have any ordinary person just serving him. He wants the best of the best. And the best of the best are ones that are going to stand the trial of time and adversity and whatever may come their way. Because no matter what happens, if you were made for this, you were made for this. But as it says, and all that behold begin to mock him. You know, you were part of it, but then you fell out. You couldn't make it. And then you hear the reasons why they couldn't make it. A woman, their job, the world, because that's ultimately what it comes down to. If it's not involving this truth, then it's of the world. And if you fall out of this truth, there's only one place you're gonna go, and that's back to the world, because that's where you came from. And if you go back to the world, that means that whatever it is that drew you back into the truth was your love for the world, or your love for somebody who loved the world, which in essence is your love for the world, because if they love the world, then they are of the world. And if you love them, then you love the world. And if you love the world, you are of the world. It's a lot of worlds, but yeah. Okay. So verse 30 says, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. And you don't want to be considered someone who began to build and was not able to finish. Like the brother said, remember Lot's wife. Exactly, like Lot's wife. Now, did Lot turn because his wife turned? Did Lot lose his mind because his wife turned? No. Because we need to now understand that, hey, we're going to be in situations like Lot, where, remember, the wife, she was of the world, and yet she went with him, and they walked for a bit, and then she turned around. So in the middle of the journey, she may have started off, whoever it is may have started off, oh, no, we're not doing this, and then, boom, they do it. You can't do it because they do it. You have to keep going. You have to keep on going, just like Lot. Remember that things like that will happen. That's why we are in the time of losing things, but you're going to lose it for what? It's not going to, you're not going, whatever you lose here, it's not going to be, well, I'm suffering this loss for 10 years, for 5 years. No. It's a temporary loss that you will gain back. Even if it's a specific person, you will see that person again in the kingdom. Guaranteed. Because their spirit is going to be back here. You know? Even if they're an Edomite, you're going to see them in the kingdom for at least 1,000 years. You know, if it's a fine-ass Edomite, you concubine, whatever, hey. But remember that this temporary loss is not worth your salvation. Okay? So as it says here, verse Luke 14:30, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. And if you end up falling out of this truth because you were not able to finish the building, your works in this truth, you're not going to be remembered by those works. You're going to be remembered by falling out. You're going to be remembered as one who was not able to finish the building. You're going to be remembered as one who was once in the company of the prophets. I'll give you an example, King Saul. How do we remember King Saul? King Saul, he did some things. And if you read in his early life and the things he did, you know, hey, Samuel loved him. You know, he was good. He was tall. He was notable. But what do we think about when we think of Saul? We think of the moment when the Lord put the demons on him and he tried to kill David, threw the javelin at him. We think about him in an unstable mind. We think about the Spirit of the Lord leaving him. We think about his disobedience to the Lord. And ultimately, we think about how he wasn't chosen, or how the Lord took it away from him and gave it to David. But you don't think more so about how he killed thousands. He was the king at one point. You know? He was humble at one point. But that's not what you remember Saul for. So it's the same thing here. You could be, oh, you good, you're doing this, you're doing that, but you're going to be remembered ultimately by how you finish. And if you couldn't stand the trial of loss, even though you knew ahead of time that you would lose certain things, then that's what you'll be remembered for. Yeah, he labored for a while, but when it came to whatever it was, his job, his house, the world, he couldn't make it. And in the kingdom to come, he's going to be there. And you're going to know. You're going to know in that kingdom that, yeah, I was close, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't do it. And that's not a position you want to be in. All right. It's not a position you want to be in, because this world has nothing to offer us but just calamities. All right. This is Wake Up the Dead 144. Ecclesiasticus 2:14. Woe unto you that have lost patience. And that ultimately, that's what it comes down to, because people lose patience. You know, some people, they get to the point where they can only endure so much. Oh, Lord, I mean, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, but I lost my house. How long are you going to have me in a homeless position? And then they'll start to, well, if you don't do anything in a month, I can't do this anymore. They lose patience. And they forget that things don't happen on our time. They happen on the Lord's time. We serve the Lord. He doesn't serve us. So when we have to wait upon the Lord, that's exactly how it has to go. We have to wait upon the Lord. When things come upon us, we seek the Lord. The Lord does not have to answer to us. And as a matter of fact, whatever happens to you, don't think of it so much in the physical. Think of it more in the spiritual, that it was the Lord's will. If anything happens, the Lord willed it. And once you truly understand that, you'll be able to bear it. All right. Salakia, let me actually do this. Okay, there we go. Salakia. So you'll know that it's the Lord who's doing it, and you'll be able to bear it because it's the Lord's will. Okay. As it says, reading on, Wake Up the Dead 144, Ecclesiasticus 2:14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? And that's the question. You lost patience. And you know what I see is, like, you're gonna have certain individuals who, just when you lose patience and you give in, that's when the Lord is gonna do something. And then the question, as we just read in the precept here, is, what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? What are you gonna do then? Lord, I was so close. I was just so close. You didn't make it. Okay, let's go here to the book of James 4:4. It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? You know why you don't make friends with your friend's enemy? Because when there comes time to fight, you got to pick a side. And instead of it being as easy as you with your friend against your enemy, a common enemy, it becomes you having to pick a side between two friends. So you don't make friends with the world when the world is enemies with the Lord. Because when it comes time to pick a side, it just becomes harder. Now, you may have to deal with the world. Of course, we're here. We're in the world, but we're not of this world. And we always have to remember not to get too attached to certain things. I'm not saying this is easy. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that. Words are easier said than done, you know? And so we all go through certain things, but at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. No matter how hard it is to receive it, you know, or how easy it is to be said, what it is the truth. Okay? So it says, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Lord. And the world says, hey, come get beat up. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Are you willing to go this far for what? You believe that the Most High said, or he doesn't want you to do it and he's going to take care of you? Because of that, how do you know that? You know, they start to throw all these things at you, you know, try to get in your head, mess with you. Okay? This is a very severe and serious thing. Maintain that thought in your mind. This is not a light thing. This is not about what's the worst that could happen. This is not about, oh, it's not the chip. So, I mean, don't think like that. You're only going to screw yourself over. Because I'm sure there have been people who, before this thing came here, they said, nope, I ain't taking it. It came. Well, it ain't the chip. I know when the chip comes, I ain't going to take that. You need to learn. Because the same way at one point, before this thing actually hit you in real life, You said you weren't going to do it, and now you're considering doing it. That's the same thing. The chip hasn't hit you in real life yet. So it's easier to say I ain't going to do it. But when it hits you and you start seeing the restrictions and the mandates and the things that come in the way, what makes you think that if you are breaking over something like this, which is phase 1, how are you going to pass phase 3? How are you going to stand firm? If you can't bear and endure the light things that are starting now, the beginning of sorrows, how are you going to be good in the heightened, in the climate, not the climate, the climax of sorrows? When the hour of temptation, the true hour of temptation happens, how are you gonna endure that? You realize that Revelation 13 and 16 says, he causeth all to receive the mark. What he's doing is causing right now. So when you sit there and say, oh, I'm gonna get caused, but I'm not gonna receive, well, cause and effect. Cause, this, effect, mark. And every cause has an effect. Every action has a reaction. And if you give yourself into the cause, chances are you will suffer the effect. You will suffer the reaction. So don't sit there and kid yourself, because you're lying to yourself when you think, well, you know what? I know the scriptures explicitly say don't take that mark, but this isn't exactly that. So let me get technical and let me at least buy some more time. Buy time for what? What are you buying time for? If you are building a sandcastle that takes 4 hours to build, and there's a storm coming in 2 hours, and you say, well, if I could buy 30 more minutes, I guess I'll just risk it and do that. What sense does that make? You're not going to complete the sandcastle either way. You're just going to get 30 extra minutes to what? Add a little bathroom in there? Add a little bit of sand, whatever in there? What's that going to do for you? It's going to be washed away. It's going to be incomplete. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter says, when the Lord is done with this place, it's going to be like it never was. The things that are happening now, this life is not going to be remembered. It's like if a bird flies in the air, you can't trace it. That's how this world is going to be. And yet people are they just can't get over the fact that this isn't not our rest. So you know what attitude we have to have? We have to prepare ourselves. We have to be numb. And we got to say, you know what? All right, it is what it is. If you are not down with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you ain't got no business with us. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Because all you're going to do is hold us back. If you can't do it, eventually you're going to try to get us not to do it. Because misery loves company. Okay? So that's ultimately what needs to happen. You got to be of the mindset, look, I'm serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Like the brother said, F it. You know? F it. You ain't with it, go your way, man. Because remember that you are the one who's on this journey. Anybody that met you and you met they are on their own journey. Maybe their path might have crossed yours. But maybe it was just that. Maybe their path didn't merge with yours. It just crossed. You got to keep on going on your journey. You know what you're looking for. This world does not know what we're looking for. So they don't see why we got to go so hard. They don't see why we need to win this battle. And they don't see that this is that battle we have to win. This is not like any other time. This is not, well, it's happened. No, it's not that. Okay? This battle we must win. we don't have a second option here. But once again, they won't see things through our eyes. They can't see the world through the lens of prophecy. Okay? But you know what? That's okay. Because if you want to be an enemy of the Most High, you be my guest. But when that time comes, we can't do anything for you. Literally, we cannot do anything for you. We can't. This isn't one of those things where you make a mistake and you get a redo. I always say this, that there is no cure for this. The cure is prevention. You can go and buy a car. Oh, this is why I told you not to get that kind of car. Damn. All right, I'm going to sell it. It might be a lot of work, but I'll sell it or get rid of it. You buy something, you return it. And then you learn your lesson why you shouldn't have bought it. But if you go and do something like this, you don't get to undo it. You don't get to return this. You've made a conscious decision, number one, to put some weird foreign shit inside your body, but number two, to pledge allegiance to this devil, that you are now a part of his phase, his steps into his transhumanist agenda. You may think that's not what you're doing, but that is exactly what you're doing. You are pledging allegiance starting now, because this is step one. And you are saying, you know what? All right. People don't understand what faith actually is. They think, and this is very ridiculous, but they think, well, I just do it and then pray that I'll be fine. Are you crazy? How are you crazy? I'm a pray that I'm gonna be fine. You don't need, matter of fact, don't even show your face to the Lord. Don't show your face to the Lord. If you are a father and you tell your child, don't go outside after this time, and they say, I'm gonna go, but then I'm gonna call my pops and say, yo, pops, I left. I know you said I shouldn't go, I left, but I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Can you help me out? You do. It's like, it's infuriating to try and even understand how the minds of these people think, man. Oh man. Shalom. This is Stay in the Spirit 144, 2nd Ezra 7 and 45. There you go. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that hath gotten the victory. So that's why we keep telling you, that's why we're so heavy on the warnings. Because when that time comes and you've done that, there is no exemption from your destruction. Because the scriptures say that the word of the Lord does not come back void. Your best bet is that the Lord does not give the command, because when he does, that's exactly what's going to happen. If the Lord sets judgment your way, it will touch your ass. You are going to get judged. And you're going to find out the hard way. And you know what? We're not going to care at that point. We're not. Because why the hell should we? You know, you need to learn your lesson. There's clearly nothing else we can do for you to learn your lesson. So if you want to find out so badly what's on the other end of the stick, if you really want to find out what we have been seeing, then go ahead. If you are that stupid that you want to be on the Titanic while it's sinking, go ahead, be my guest. But I'm going to be on the shore. I'm going to be looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. So because you don't know, you're going to be on the Titanic to find out if it sinks or not, knowing that there's a chance that it will sink? Does that make any sense to you? If you're not sure about something, do you not first make sure before you do it? I'm not sure, so, oh well, I'm just going to try it anyway and find out. If I die, I die. Personally, that's one of the statements that angers me. When people say, if I die, I die. Because they don't understand what the Most High is capable of. They think, oh, death, you know, just die, whatever. You know, I get one life, so I just live it however I live it. There are things worse than death. And the Most High is the author of these things. He's very intricate with how he does these things. So you sit there and you open your mouth and you talk that, if I die, I die, talk to the Lord and the death angels and see what he has for you. Well, he'll tell you, well, gladly. Oh, I'll be glad to honor your request. You want to die? If you die, you die. Let me teach you a thing or two about dying. You know what I'm saying? See how you like that. You know, see if you have the same attitude at that point. You start getting plagued by demons. You tell those demons, if I die, I die. And see what they like to do to you. All right, this is Rise of the Hopeful Elect Ba, Romans 13 and 11, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. That's right. This is Stay in the Spirit 144, Jeremiah 7 and 16. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. So if you perceive that somebody is not, they don't have the spirit to make it, you know, it's like they're tugging way too hard right now. Man, if you are tugging way too hard right now, the level is only going to get more difficult. And if you can't hold on, you're slipping right now, then where are you going to be then? And if you can perceive that and you see that this person, they're not really, you know what I'm saying, they're not with it, they're not even trying to hold on, your prayers for them ain't really going to do anything. The Lord is going to be like, look, you're wasting your time. You want to know why they can't hold on? because I didn't say they can hold on. Okay? I don't want them to make it. That's what you need to prepare your mind for. Because for some people, you may hear the Lord say, I don't want them to make it. Oh, that's fine. The Lord don't want you to make it. But when it comes to somebody that maybe you may want to make it, but the Lord says, no, I don't want them to make it. That's what you need to really prepare your mind for. See, when it comes to separating yourself from this world, that's where a lot of people find difficulty. Materialistic things, people can let go. When it comes to attachments and relationships, that's where it gets harder. But you need to remember, don't get emotional, but remember that this is not up to you. You don't even know if you're going to make it. If you make it, that's because the Lord chose you. But this isn't, you don't get to choose. We don't get to choose. You know? We just have to be grateful that, Lord willing, we might be chosen. But we don't get to choose. That's what you need to prepare your mind for. If the Lord says you go into the kingdom alone, be glad that you make it to the kingdom. Because maybe he says, that's when I'm going to give you everything else. And there's certain reason the Lord has that we don't understand. And that's okay. Because his ways are not our ways. And ultimately, let the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai be done. Okay? So let's go to the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, verse 3. It says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua HaMashiach. And a lot of the tough battles are really internal battles. You know, because yes, you have the martial law, you have the scarcity of food. And yeah, these are things that, all right, cool, you know what, let's tug it through. But some internal battles that, you know, you don't really, it's not really like you have somebody else that can fight it with you. You just have to fight it yourself. Those things you got to pray to the Lord and, you know, just be strong. Okay? That's right. You got to have the it is what it is type of mindset. Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know? And I'm saying this, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's true. And it is what it is. And if you can't change it, you can't go back in time, you can't stop it from happening. So you just got to go with the flow. Okay? Verse 4 says, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. Why? Because it's going to make it harder on you. No, now, you know, wherever you are, the Lord put you there for a reason. You know, you may have a family, you may have a wife, you may have children. The Lord did that for a reason. But we don't know if the Lord is going to use any one of them to test us. That's our test. But don't get caught up in the test. You need to step back and realize that it is a test. And no matter how hard the test is, you have to pass the test. Okay? You have to pass the test. That is the goal. It's a test, man. And certain tests, you may think it's going to end a certain way, but that's not how it's going to end. But it feels like that's how it's going to end. That's a part of the test. Abraham and Isaac. You know? Now, we know that the Lord had it to where Abraham didn't sacrifice Isaac. But in the moment, Abraham didn't know that. So it felt like he was actually going to have to do it. Now, we don't know exactly what Abraham felt because it didn't describe it. But just imagine it not just having a child, but at that old age where it pretty much looks like all hope is lost, and you finally get granted that wish, that prayer to get a child at that old age. It's a miracle that he's a miracle child. You get this miracle child, and just as soon as you got him, the Lord says, now I want you to sacrifice him. So can you imagine what Abraham was going through, having to lose that his heir, his true heir that the Lord gave him, or at least in his mind thinking that he had to lose that true heir by his own hand. But the one that he served had greater priority than what he wanted. And so what did he do? He put away all emotions and he did what the Lord commanded him to do. And the Lord, that part, that action, that spirit, and that attitude is what the Lord was looking for. That is what he wants. That is why Abraham was called a friend of God. Because he was willing to do that for the Lord above himself. He was willing to lose things. No matter how dear they were to him, he was willing to do it for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So when we mention Abraham, you don't just mention him, oh, the father of, why do you think the Lord said he was going to do all that for him? Because of that spirit. And now we're going to have to go through different moments and different instances like that. But the fight is only going to get tougher, so we just got to keep on going, man. Just keep clearing level after level, level after level. You know, and there's some scenarios that you don't want to imagine at all in your head, but sometimes you have to imagine it. And that feeling you get, like, yo, damn, man, you know, like, damn, this was to happen, man. You got to get used to that feeling, you know, because you don't want to be in shock, you know, if the Lord decides to test you that way, okay? So continuing, 2 Timothy 2:4, it says, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. So the reason we don't get distracted is so we can stay focused and we can please Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, because he chose us to be a soldier in his army. And a soldier in his army has to live up to that standard, to that requirement, to that 7,000 that have not bowed the knee to Baal. You think Baal is not going to come at you hardcore? You think Baal is not going to want your kids? He's not going to want your wives? He's not going to want you and your life and your faith and your spirit? Of course he is. But who are you gonna pledge allegiance to? The Lord or Baal? Who do you fear more? And the Lord set it up to where you're like, damn, you can't see the Most High, you can't see Yahweh Shai. Right now, if you were to say, all right, I'm gonna go get it, and you go get it, and you don't drop dead, nothing happens to you, you like, damn, looks like the consequences of Esau are realer than the consequences of the Lord. No. They're not. The Lord is just long suffering. So when the Lord finally says, all right, it's time of judgment, I mean, that's when everybody's going to start, oh my gosh. Then the skies get dark, shit starts going south, and you realize that there's a very pissed off God or power getting ready to do something. That nervousness, that anxiousness, that fear and regret that's going to set into people's consciousness, because the whole time they were like, yo, something ain't right. Now they're finding out what exactly it is that ain't right. And where do you go at that point? When the Most High is angry at you and Esau he done poisoned you and you right in the middle. You are a target of both sides. Esau's targeting your ass and the Most High is targeting your ass. Where do you go? Who do you turn to? You don't get to turn to anybody because Esau wants to kill you and the Most High is pissed off at you. So now what? You done put yourself in it. Esau's not an option. Your only option is the Most High. Esau makes you think that you have multiple options. You don't have options. Okay? You don't have options. So you make the wrong decision because you were deceived, because you were disobedient. You're going to be stuck having to deal with that. All right? And the Most High will punish you. He will punish you. Okay? So now let's go here to the book of Romans. And these are all things you have to consider. All right? The time of losing things, it's here. And you may have never been homeless before. You don't even know what that's like. But this may be your first time going through it, and you might have to go through it and actually sit there and say, damn, this is real. This shit is actually happening to me. You know? What the hell? You know, just like 2 years ago, I was good. I had my nice crib. You know, I was working. I was good. I was fine. Look at me. I'm on the street. I got my suitcase and all this shit. Where the hell am I supposed to go? What do I even begin to think? Yeah, that's real life, man. You know? This is Romans 8:18. It says, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Hey, look, somebody said I'm currently homeless. You know, and may Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai take care of you. Okay? But that's not a light thing. You know, it's cold as shit outside. You hungry. I mean, these are all part, and then you start to think like, damn, man, like, you know, I'm doing the will of the Lord, and look at the condition I'm in. Those demons will try to get you. Damn, did the Lord forsake me? You know what I'm saying? Like, was this the right decision? That's what demons will try to put into your head. Okay? And the Lord will let them do it for a time, depending, just to see how strong are you. Are you actually made of the realness? Are you going to survive the furnace of adversity? You know? And you sitting there and they plaguing you. I mean, think about Job. You see, when you go through things like, think about Job. Think about how he went from 100 to 0. And think about, and you know what? When you're in certain situations like that, and you remember certain things that our forefathers went through, the respect you have for them goes up even more. Because you sit there and you're like, how could you lose all of this and still say the things you said? At first, I thought I understood. At first, I thought, yeah, I mean, he has faith. He's a man of the Lord. Of course, he's still going to serve the Lord. But at first, I wasn't in the condition I'm in now. At first, I wasn't homeless. At first, I wasn't starving. At first, I hadn't lost family members and loved ones. At first, I wasn't alone. But now that I am, how were you able to go through that and still just say the things you said and give glory? You'll start to actually feel and understand those scriptures. You know, you'll actually understand them more, because you say, damn, man. And then you understand the hardness and the difficulty of the truth and why it is that the elect are who they are and they will get what they're going to get. You know, why it is that they were crowned. Because it's not an easy job. This job is not an easy job. And we're all about to find that out when we get tested. And may Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua have mercy on all of us, because we're going to need all the mercy we can get. All right? Especially when doing the right thing doesn't really feel like doing the right thing, because everybody looks at you like you're crazy and you're doing the wrong thing. That's when all you have is your faith and your power. You have your God and your faith. Okay? That's right. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua build us up. Yeah, in these times. You know? And that's why we don't have time for game playing. That's why we're always so serious about this thing, because these things that I'm describing are real things. These are serious possibilities. And you need to have a serious mind. All right, so this is Romans 8:18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. So these are one of the scriptures that keeps you good, keeps you going. Because you sit down and you say, all right, well, I believe this scripture is true. You know, so I got to look around me. That's right. Shalom. Haran. Prophetic light, Lightbringer 144K. Prophetic reality is setting in. Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. But be comforted in the fact that we may go first, but the world does not escape. They don't get off the hook. Because when it's their turn, that's when Isaiah 65 kicks in. That's when we eat and they starve. That's when we rejoice and they howl and sorrow. That's when we drink and they thirst. That's when we dance and we laugh and we're good and they're suffering. So fear not, just because we may have to go first. That's okay. You know, we may, hey, look, they go da-da-da-da-da. The people who go and consent and they take that, they're not going to be all right. No, they're not going to be fine. For a moment, it may seem like it, but don't worry, because all we're going through is a test. When the calamity comes on them, and if they're Abraham, they're going to have to sacrifice Isaac. If they're Daniel, they're going to get eaten in the lion's den. If they're Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they're going to get the shit burnt out of them in that furnace. Okay? No matter what, look, man, think about the deliverances that happen to us. For them, it's not coming. Because the events I just listed to you, these were tests for the elect. For the elect, they're tests. For the rest of this world, it's not going to be a test. When hell comes your way, it's not to see how much faith you have. No, it's actually to hurt you. It's to destroy you. See, once we pass the test, the Lord got us. He's like, all right, get them out of there. It ain't a test, man. It's like they come in. All right, Lord. All right. They're not stopping. Because the orders are not to stop. Their orders are actually to hurt you. Ezekiel 9:5. That applies to these wicked individuals. These dumb fools who think that they got off the hook because you made a deal with the devil. When has somebody ever made a deal with the devil and it went right for them? So that's why we have these scriptures here, Romans 8:18, to remember that, look, whatever we're going through now, it doesn't even compare to what we're going to get. Okay, so it's fine, because this won't be forever, you know? And this is much better than burning in thermonuclear fire. This is much better than turning on the Lord. This is much better than losing faith. But this is okay, because this means that it's working. This means we're doing the right thing, you know? So it's fine. All right. Now, lastly, I have here Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. And it says, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So understand that the aura and the energy and the vibration that's going to be on the earth, it's not going to be one of comfortability. It's not going to be one of an easy road or an easy path. Verse 35, for I am come to set a man at variance against his father. A man at variance against his father, that's going to be because of the Lord. Some people might not have the best relationship with their parents, you know, but, you know, for the most part, they're still your parents, you know, and some people might have a good relationship with their parents, but then the Lord is going to set you at variance. And a part of you is going to hurt because you're going, damn, man, that's my pops or that's my mom, you know, but I can't go with them. Yeah, they raised you, you know, yeah, I mean, but I have to separate for the Lord's sake, because of Yahushai, they don't see Yahweh. They don't glorify the Lord. I glorify the Lord. So we cannot walk together because we're not agreed. We're not in the same mindset. They want to go take it. I don't want to take it. They might say you can't live here anymore, but that's okay, because the Lord said that he was going to do this. And he also told us that we need to seek the kingdom of God first, and everything will be added onto us. And that means we're gonna eat. That means we're gonna drink. That means we're gonna be clothed. We're gonna have shelter. We're gonna be okay. All right. These people are in a false sense of reality. They think that there's peace. There's no peace coming. There's no peace coming at all. Inflation is about to turn into hyperinflation real quick. There's food shortages left and right. Go read about what's happening in the UK. There's a whole biological warfare going on, and people think that they're good, like good times are coming. No, we're in the beginning of sorrows. And quite frankly, we're getting ready for that. You know, our minds are getting ready for that. Continuing in Matthew 10 and 35, it says, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Verse 36, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. It's not going to be the easiest thing, but you're going to have to do it. Verse 37, he that loveth, and this is a part of counting the cost, like the precept we started out with. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. So you can love your family, but not above the Lord. And why did the Lord say that? Because there is going to come a time when you need to honor your love for one or the other. You either honor your love for Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, or you honor your love for your family. And if you honor your love for your family over the Lord, you're not worthy of the Lord. And if you're not worthy of the Lord, then he is not going to defend you. And he's not going to provide for you. And you better hope your parents can manifest food out of thin air. You better hope your parents own a chariot that could beam you up. Because if they don't, you know what's going to happen? You're going to keep following them, and all of you are going to sink on that Titanic. And I'm telling you, people like to think, well, at least if I die with my family. When you're burning, when every inch of your body feels like it's on fire, your eyeballs feel like they're on fire, your freaking tongue and brain feel like they're on fire, you're not gonna care who the hell is standing next to you. You ain't gonna, let's hold hands and die together. When that heat touches your ass and you there screaming, all you're gonna be thinking about is the pain and how to make it stop. So it's not going to be about a family death, you know, or you know what? I didn't separate from I know I didn't serve the Lord all the way, but at least I didn't turn on my family. Nigga, you crazy? What you mean I didn't turn on my, they don't understand. That's the only real sensible solution. They don't understand. But they will understand. When you decide that the family that you chose over the Lord, you guys are all sitting there, you're hungry, and you start turning on each other, and you start killing each other and eating each other, what's that going to do? Where's the family at now? You don't know that the Most High is called the Father of Spirits? What happens when you turn your back on the Lord for your family and they turn on you? You ain't think of that. You know, all these things that the Lord said is not worthy of me. That's not just, all right, whatever. I guess it didn't work out. You're not worthy of me. You could go your way. You're fine. No, you are not going to be fine. Anybody that's not of the elect is not going to be fine. All right. Verse 38, and he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. So you have everybody. I can't bear your cross. You can't bear my cross. You have to take your cross. You got to carry your cross no matter how heavy it is. And you have to follow the Lord. Okay. And as time goes, your cross may feel heavier. But your cross is really still the same weight. The only reason it'll feel heavier is if you start getting weak. The weaker you get, the heavier your cross feels. The stronger you get, the lighter your cross feels. Okay? So as the times go on, if you allow it to get to you and you start getting weak, your cross will feel heavier. And the weaker you get, the heavier your cross gets. Eventually, that shit is going to collapse you, fall on you, and that's where your story ends. But if you are ready, you're like, look, man, it is what it is. And you stay focused and you have faith in the Lord and you pray to the Lord and you're willing to forsake everything for the Lord, your cross will be lighter and you'll make it. You'll follow Yahushua all the way up until the end. You'll be delivered. You'll get beamed up. You'll get your new body. And you know what? You'll understand. You'll calm down. You'll understand. And you know what I'm saying? You'll be good. All right. But your mental state, your spiritual state, your faith, these are precious things that you need to guard. All right, you need to guard these things. That's why Paul talks about putting on the whole armor of God. You need to guard these things. Okay, Matthew 10:39, he that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. And you can lose your physical life, and you can also lose your way of life. You can lose the life that you have now. This life that we had to live because we were waiting for the Lord. Your family is a part of your life. And if you're not willing to lose that, and the reason I keep mentioning that and emphasizing that is because your bond for materialistic things are not the same as people. Cars don't talk. The car is just going to be there. You're just going to look at it. And it's going to be a one-sided thing. People talk. People cry. People get emotional. People guilt trip. So you're dealing on your car's not going to guilt trip you. Your car's not going to cry to you. Your woman is, your mom is, your child is, your friends are. So when you have to lose things and it comes to that, that's the harder part. You know? That's why you need to pray. We all got to pray for strength because we don't know what we will be tested on. And we don't know what things are going to look like, in exact details, but we know ultimately what's coming and ultimately what we have to do. And you got to be ready to do that, whether whoever it is with you or they're not. You got to be ready to cross that line. Okay, this is about how your legacy is going to end. Okay, how are you going to finish? Are you a part of the elect? Well, you're going to find out. We all going to find out. Okay, but if you really want it, you got to go get it. Okay. This is GMS Get Down for Your Crown. That's right. That's exactly what you got to do. You got to get down for your crown. You want that crown? Go get that crown. Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So what we're about to find out is who's really made of it. Okay. What is everybody really made of? Who's cut out for it and who's not? And I pray that I'm cut out for it, and I pray that all of you are as well. And Lord willing, we all make it. Okay? But you will lose things. You will lose people. And we are in that time now, and it's only going to amplify. So put that into your head and prepare yourself for that so you don't end up bugging out. All right? And that's pretty much it. I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying and exhorting onto the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.